Cute animation, right? Lots of personality. Let's explore how we can make this a little bit better. You watched or you read a paper on physics last week and you were tested on it. The first thing that I wanted you to get out of that is balance. When is weight appropriately over a foot? Let's explore that in this animation. So I turned on the NURBS curves and I'm looking through the animation of this character. I'm not seeing the ticks. There they are. Okay, so when the character is extending the leg, the body, in theory, should be over the foot. Because if you try to do this, if you want to defend this position, then you need to show me you are physically capable of holding this pose. There's no momentum shifting the character into this pose. Therefore, this character does need to go over here. When I have Camtasia on, it just doesn't let me use my Maya, which is very frustrating. Okay, here we go. So to have balance, you got to have the physics in place, right? And you read about the physics. So let's go to the keyframe where that's determined. You probably want that keyframe somewhere around here inserted. So he's gonna go up. Oh gosh darn. There, I moved him over a little bit, and now I'm going to look here to make sure he's over the leg. Nice. So we're going to reset that keyframe. So when we play it, I changed up my little work area a little bit because I also want to have my animation graph editor open. So I'm translating in the Y up here to there, and in the X, I look at my little thing here. So I'm going to look at my translate Y and my X. And I'm going to see that I kind of have a ball bounce here. This is a good time to introduce you to a very important connection, which is in your ball bounce, you learned about force, float, and gravity. Force and gravity are always going to be fighting with each other, and that causes float. When your object is fighting between force or gravity, something pushing it or pulling it back to earth. So you saw in the bouncing ball something that looked like this. Remember? The up and down thing. So we know that that's contact with the ground just from going through here. Sometimes it won't be as obvious, but I'm going to determine, okay, I want my keyframe to jump out at that point. So I'm going to make sure, and there's been some primary editing here, which is great. Just going to make sure all my tangents are broken, weighted, so I have the optimal opportunities here. And I'm just going to have it, woo, Control Z, spring out. And I'm going to recognize, that's on the same curve, I can get rid of that. And I'm going to spring that out into position. That's sort of on the same curve too, which is great. I was able to now see that. I'm going to spring it out so that I'm almost in that position immediately. Whoa! I almost want to be in that position before that foot lifts off because of the balance. So now let's make sure, copy, probably want that to be there till about here. See? And now that it has balance, it's more believable, isn't it? All I wanted to show here is that in order to show a weight shift, the weight has to be on the foot that's holding the weight, or else it's not a weight shift. Critical, critical. It's a cute character. Well done for your knowledge so far, But this is the lesson I want to drive home, is that the weight needs to be on the foot that's holding up the character, or else it's not a weight shift. Prior, this was just kind of moving back and forth, which is fine for this level of understanding, but that body needs to be supported by something before it can go down. So I'm going to push this over again and hold it, and I'm going to press S for a keyframe. And as it goes down, that foot. Okay, now let's look at it again. Much more believable, huh? Excuse me. So remember, in this weight shift assignment, what I'm looking for is you to show an understanding of where the weight is going, because it has to be believable. It has to be held up. If you physically cannot do that pose, the pose does not fit the animation physics.